Hey guys, Mike Anderson here with the 1% Solution and Living Motion Monograms, and welcome to part 3 of our DJ system build out. Today's pretty exciting because we're going to be installing our panels that we built last time on our last episode there, and doing some soldering work and installing a couple components in the system. So let's get busy.
Now, a couple things before we begin, just to help you out. I mean, soldering sucks. It just does. No matter how much you do it, it still ends up being a pain in the butt. But one of the things, couple things to keep in mind to help things along is the knowing exactly how things should go in. So if you look at these, when we wire things up, you have to keep your eye on those numbers because pin 2 is always hot. We've got our ground, our shield over on pin 1 there, and pin 3 here has our white. All right. Sometimes it's nice to have some kind of writing that down just so that we could see what it is, and that we don't have to end up worrying about it. But also, if you're going to be doing any heat shrinking, remember, we need these on the wires before we do our soldering. Otherwise, it's just going to be a pain in the butt because you're going to be undoing your work and having to redo it all. So make sure you got your heat shrink on the wire before you end up soldering everything together, and keep your eye on the numbers because it is really, really easy based on whether you're doing male or female XLR or anything else to get those mixed up. One of the things that I recommend is to prime your surfaces. So if you got brand new connectors, you can run a bead of solder inside those connectors, get them kind of ready, because solder is going to melt a lot quicker when it touches it, the soldering iron. And so if you do that on your surface that you're going to be soldering to, and put it on your cable connections, it's just going to keep them nice and clean, keep them together from little tiny little wires exposed and crossing over to maybe one of the other ones. And then if you'd like, you can go ahead and trim these up just a little bit and make them nice and neat for our soldering. Now, one more thing that I like to do is actually put a little bit of hot glue just right around the connections just to firm things up, but it also is going to protect them from ever crossing over and touching one of the other wires. But what I'm also trying to do is just kind of firm up this little connection here, because technically the back is going to be kind of exposed, so if I can add a little bit of strength, protect the wires, it's going to be a win-win. All right, we got our connectors attached, we got our heat shrink on, and yeah, I forgot the heat gun at home. All right, that's all right. We'll continue on, but I'll go ahead and shrink those down another time. But one of the things we got to kind of worry about is the block here. We got to figure out where these are actually going to go. All right. So we got our mark there. So we're gonna have to do a little trimming on our blocks. For that, we've got our couple different ways we do this. First off, we can use our little blade here to get it started. So we got it started, but now we need to go a little deeper. So a little just a skill saw blade here that we're going to use. So to get this in, I may have to take these bolts out. Now, one of the things we still have to do is our power. So this is going to be the power out to the speakers. And I'm going to link these together and have one power cord coming off. You just have to make sure you get everything correct, obviously. And of course, our neutral is white, and our load is black with a nice little green one for our ground. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put these little pigtails on first, and then put on my heat shrink and stuff, because you want to make sure this is definitely protected and definitely insulated from the other wires as well. And I don't advise doing electrical work if you're not comfortable with it. Maybe something you want to have someone else do if you don't have a whole lot of experience, because you don't want to blow anything up. That's never our goal. All right, as you guys can see here, we got our panels installed. We got both sides line up with the rack rails, and if we kind of pan down here, you can see we've got our power cable that's going to go into the power conditioner, and the rest of the lines that run through. All these are going to go to our mixer. We've got our two ends for our microphones, DMX box. We've even got our power in right here. So we're about ready to vacuum this thing out and then install our first component. So the first thing we want to install is our power conditioner. It's going to slide in. I'm actually going to put the rack rails behind our new panels. So it's going to cover them nice. As you guys can see here, how everything kind of lines up. The second thing we're going to put in is our signal processor, or our DBX unit here. And that is going to be the front of our system. Not bad. Not looking bad. So, I've only done a few things since our last cutaway here. I basically kind of ran power, got it plugged into our power conditioner, got everything screwed in here in the front. Basically the same screws are holding our plates in, and it ain't going nowhere. As our rack sits, or the rack pieces themselves. On the back side, I put in a little tack here for my channel, for my snake. This is just going to keep everything nice, snug, and secure, and keep anything from actually pulling on our cords here, which I want to make sure doesn't happen and yank stuff around and out. And I have to admit, I have a problem, people. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I love gaff tape. Yeah, one of the habits I have that I can't kick is I have this habit of like just taping everything down with gaff tape on the inside. So like this is the main power cord, comes around and out to the front. So I don't know. It just it helps kind of keep things clean. You'll notice I kind of basically cutting into the foam here just to try and keep our power cables away from our signal cables here as much as possible. But and it runs in the back through our foam blocks in here, around and back out to the front there. But so that's what I'm kind of finishing up here. We've got a couple things left. We've got our DMX out for our lighting controls, and I'm gonna kind of do the same thing with these. So we'll get these taped down and kind of routed around here. Make sure they're nice and straight and kept clean. What else? Oh, and then we'll start kind of plugging some things in. and start getting this thing wired up. So as I said before, I've got a tape problem. I don't know. I just I know nobody's ever going to see this stuff on the inside, but if I'm working in here and the stuff that I'm not going to really ever move or as part of the case itself, then I try and tag down and make sure it stays nice and secure. And it doesn't shift around or anything. So, plus it just kind of cleans everything up as much as you can with covering the bottom with duct tape or gaff tape. Think I'm crazy? You guys can tell me in the comment section below. Hey, and don't forget, I still want to come up with a name for this system. So if you guys come up with any ideas, leave it in the comment section below. Let's try and name this system. Maybe it's Goliath, or maybe it's Peter Pan, or maybe it's Crappy. Whatever you guys want. Just put your suggestions in the comments below the video, on any one of the videos for this series. We'll see what kind of comes about. So we've got our two outs right here, and one of these I'm going to use as a booth out, and then the other one I'm actually going to plug into our mid-range out of our signal processor, so that it's I can control it with my iPhone if I want. This one is going to be going actually to the booth out, so we're going to leave this one back here. We've got two lines that we're going to go into our booth. This one is eventually going to go to our wireless transmitter, and these are going to go to our wireless mics. All right, so we've got our big clump of cable mess here. We've got, let's see, that's for a microphone. We've got, where's our other mic? There's our other microphone. We've got, let's see, booth left. And so that's going to be going to the mixer. And here we've got sub left and right, so we can plug those in. And a lot of people ask, why do you use a signal processor? You don't need it. I really, you're right, I don't. We've also got top left and right. But this little itty bitty unit does a whole lot of stuff. It's got feedback eliminator and destroyer on it, EQ. It'll tune your system to the room itself if you want. Here's our DMX plug, so that'll be coming up in just a little bit as far as when we install that box. So we've got this. I'm going to leave this loose for now until we get the mixer in here. But we've got this cable, which we want to clean up. One thing that's a downside to the DBX unit is apparently they've given up on updating their app. And so if you update your iPhone or iPad, it no longer supports it. So that's kind of a bummer. I wish they'd reconsider that, because the app itself, it no longer works at all. But luckily, I believe I have an old iPhone that I no longer use that I have not updated, and we're going to see if that'll work on it, and it should. I know, more tape. Sorry guys if I'm this is like nails on a chalkboard for you. Plus, you guys may notice this stuff. I absolutely love this stuff. This is I don't even know what the heck they call it. Found it at Fry's, and it's just a cover that you can put over the cables, and it's the fabric, expanding fabric wire cover, I believe is what it is. A little hard to find, but once you get down to the end, what you can do is put a little piece of tape there. And if you got multiple wires and stuff, it kind of cleans that all up. I use this a lot with on the upper side, basically on the upper end of my console. Any of the wires that come up to the laptop, which we'll get into eventually here. All right. Huh. Not bad.
Now, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel to join the 1% Solution family so you don't miss out on any new videos or live streams that happen. Thanks for watching.